Hey guys, welcome to another Star Wars book review here on the channel, where my goal is to look at the Star Wars Legends material for the very first time and discuss it here on the channel to you guys. Now, last time on the channel we looked at the second novel in the Han Solo Adventures trilogy, Han Solo's Revenge, and now we will be moving forward with the second novelization of The Empire Strikes Back. The Empire Strikes Back novelization was released in 1980 and was written by Donald F. Glut and is, of course, the novelization of The Empire Strikes Back. I'm not going to be going into the story at all because if you know The Empire Strikes Back, you know this book, you know this story. It's the exact same story. So overall, what did I think of this novelization? I absolutely loved this novelization, and I thought that Donald F. Glut did such a fantastic job of bringing you into this universe and able to tell this story with such great detail, and it was just overall so much fun to read. In fact, I would say that this is probably my favorite novel out of the books that I have read so far. If you remember back to my first review for the original Star Wars novelization, you'll know that I wasn't a huge fan of Alan Dean Foster's writing style in that book. I found the way he wrote dialogue especially awkward, and how he broke it up just didn't work for me at all. Also, I found that that book had an extremely huge pacing problem, especially in the first half, where it just took a lot of time to get going. But with Glut, he is able to get you right into the action really fast. The book is extremely fast-paced. In fact, maybe it's a bit too fast. It goes by extremely it's great to read because you can just read it in a couple of days like I did, and it was just extremely entertaining. Now, I will say, on the whole, Glut's novelization of The Empire Strikes Back is less interesting overall than the novelization for the original Star Wars, mostly due to there not really being many, deleted scenes or anything, substantial that was cut from the movie that, ended up in this book, unlike with the original Star Wars novelization. But with this novel, we do get some great little things that he is able to add to the story. And also, we did get a couple of scenes that didn't end up in The Empire Strikes Back, and I thought those were really cool, but there was very few of them compared to the original Star Wars novelization. One of those deleted scenes actually has to do with Luke's training on Dagobah with Yoda. There is definitely a lot more to do on there, a lot more training scenes, and I thought that was really interesting. We got to spend a little bit more time on Dagobah than we did in the film itself. Also, I really like how Glut is able to delve into the characters' minds a lot more. We get a lot more of going inside people's heads, such as Han and Leia, especially, as we see their romance start to bloom, and we know that they have feelings for each other before they even say anything, and I think that is really well done here. Also, something that I think is really well done is Luke's inner turmoil, because I think it's perfectly done here as he struggles with dealing with the light side and the dark side and not going too far, especially in those final chapters when he's fighting Darth Vader. I think that is extremely well done and very engaging. In fact, that entire chapter of the fight between Luke and Darth Vader is so entertaining and just exhilarating to read. It's a great finale from the movie, and it's a great finale for this book as well. Also, in terms of things that are changed from the movie to the script to the book, is some of the dialogue. There's alternate dialogue in this script, and some little bits and pieces of new dialogue that isn't even in the movie, and I thought was really interesting because I think this book was perhaps based off of a earlier draft of the script, because some lines of dialogue don't make it into this novelization that are eventually in the movie. Some things that were eventually ad-libbed in the movie are, of course, not in this novelization. There's no scene where, Han says, "I know." But still, the dialogue is really, really good. I mean, the dialogue itself is from Lawrence Kasdan, who is a great, great screenwriter. But, yeah, I think Glut was able to really do a good job of taking the dialogue from the script and using it to really form a great and entertaining story. Also, something I want to say that really enhanced this book for me was the two previous novels that I had just read of the Han Solo adventures. Dealing with the adventures of Han Solo, I got to really delve into that character a lot more and read more about him and really come to love that character. So by the time I was reading Empire Strikes Back, I really started to love this character, and when he finally ends up in Carbonite at the end of the book, I was sad to see him go because, I like reading this character. I really got attached to this character through those books, and it enhanced my reading of this novel in particular. Also, something interesting that I discovered at the very end of this novelization is that Glut adds a little bit at the end where Luke, before he goes to save Han Solo, is going to return to Dagobah to finish his training with Yoda. And I thought that was really interesting because if you watch Return of the Jedi, you know that Luke doesn't finish his training with Yoda. He goes to Tatooine to save Han Solo and then returns to finish his training, and then, of course, we know Yoda dies. But I think that's really, really interesting because it would honestly make a lot of sense, because when we get to Return of the Jedi, Luke has definitely grown stronger in the Force and has definitely become closer to becoming a full-fledged Jedi. And so I think the whole idea was that originally Luke was going to train with Yoda in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But then they eventually changed it to where he will have a reason to go back to Yoda in the movie. But I think that's just something really interesting to think about. It was something that really was something I kept thinking about as I finished the book, but I thought it was really interesting. Guys, this book is incredibly fun to read. It's very simple, it's simplistic, but it's got all the Star Wars stuff you know and love. It's got great dialogue, it's got the great characters, and I think that Glut is able to really delve into this story a lot more with some great character moments and some great inner turmoil within our characters, and I thought, this was just a fun book to read. In terms of negatives, I really don't have anything in particular that I felt was really missing from this book that would have made it a lot better. I think this is a really solid book, and I'm absolutely glad I read it. I'm going to give The Empire Strikes Back an 8 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this book review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really wholly recommend that you read The Empire Strikes Back novelization. Again, as I said, it's not as interesting as the first novelization, but it is a better book overall and still just a fun book to read if you're a Star Wars fan and you want to delve a little deeper, not too deep, into The Empire Strikes Back. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and next time we will be looking at the final installment in the Han Solo Adventures trilogy, Han Solo and the Lost Legacy. Look forward to that review coming soon, and more movie and classic reviews coming soon. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.